Thank you, Madam Chair and Ranking Member Burr. Thank you to all of our witnesses for being here today. Every worker should be able to save enough to cover their expenses during their retirement years. But we are here today because we know that that's not always the case. So I look forward to working with my colleagues to improve and expand access to retirement savings for all Americans. Mr. Gray, I want to start with a question to you. Following a request that the Chair and House Education and Labor Chair Bobby Scott and I made, the Government Accountability Office released a report highlighting the threat that cyber attacks pose to retirement plans. The report confirmed that cyber threats put private defined contribution retirement plans like 401ks, which are held by more than 100 million Americans, at risk, and recommends that the Department of Labor take action to address this issue. So, Mr. Gray, can you share how Fidelity works to combat the risks of cybersecurity in its client retirement plans, and what would you recommend that Congress could do to address these risks?
Senator, thank you for the question. And certainly, Fidelity views cybersecurity as one of the most paramount things that we can do, which is really all about protecting our customer data and their trust. I would say Fidelity employs some of the most sophisticated technologies and best practices that's really designed to protect the sensitive information and accounts of our customers. And this is a significant spend for us. We view this as really one of our highest priorities. And our viewpoint is we will do whatever it takes to ensure that security. To give you a few examples of kind of how we go about doing this, our cybersecurity program is ISO certified, which is really one of the highest standards that providers can use or financial services can use to validate the strength of their cybersecurity program. We actually employ 800 individuals on our cybersecurity team that come from a range of backgrounds and credentials, including law enforcement and intelligence agencies. We've built strong partnerships as well, in strategic partnerships with the FBI, Secret Service, and others to help protect our customer accounts. And we employ with our clients a number of active measures to help protect their accounts. Two-factor authentication, for example. Voice biometric, so if a Fidelity customer calls, we can authenticate them by their voice. We also have the ability to track the voice of bad actors who may be calling, trying to get access to retirement accounts. We use biometric authentication, and we work directly with our customers as well to make sure that they are aware of any cyber threats that may be faced by their participants and their plans, and to help them strengthen their cyber standards. This is a proactive approach that we take, and we are very supportive of the recommendations that were made by the Department of Labor recently, and we worked very actively with the department in the formulation of those recommendations.
Well, thank you for that, and I would look forward to further consultation about other ways Congress can move forward on helping all of our retirement plans be cyber secure. I want to turn to a different issue for all of the witnesses. As has been discussed here today, women often struggle to save enough for retirement, lagging behind their male counterparts due to a number of factors, including lower earnings, spending time away from the workplace to meet caregiving responsibilities as well. Many of those issues have been exacerbated by the pandemic, with nearly 3 million women temporarily leaving the workforce. So to each of you, and I'll ask you to be brief, how do you think Congress can help address the retirement gap for women, especially as we recover from COVID-19? And I'll start with you, Ms. Kyle.
Thank you. You know, we talked about some of the solutions here a little earlier, and I think that a focus on Social Security is really essential because that is the primary retirement vehicle for most Americans, including most women. I think a recognition that women are disproportionately in low-wage jobs and often have gaps in employment for childcare is essential. And so proposals that provide paid childcare and, paid family leave are really essential. I also think it's important to have portable retirement benefits so that when women do leave the workforce, they're able to take their benefits with them.
Yep. Thank you. And Madam Chair, I'm almost out of time. Can I ask the others to comment briefly?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Lucas?
Thank you. According to the Retirement Confidence Survey, the women that are very affected by having low amounts of assets in retirement actually are divorced or unmarried women. According to the Retirement Confidence Survey, 38% of divorced women have less than $1,000 saved for retirement, and 42% of never married women. To your point about women who have been displaced from the workforce, we have a system already in place called catch-up contributions, and that could be something that could be leveraged for women who need to catch up because they've been displaced from the workforce in their 401k plans.
Thank you. Mr. Akabas.
Thank you. I would agree with the other witnesses. I think paid family leave is a big factor here, as well as just the access gap that we've been talking about all morning, and things like automatic enrollment that can make sure to get these workers into plans. And then finally, I would mention on Social Security, one other provision of this package that I mentioned from BPC was enhancing the survivor benefit, because often women are the ones who are the surviving spouse, and right now they only get to keep the greater of their benefit or their spouse's benefit. But unfortunately, we know that household expenses usually do not get cut in half when one spouse passes away, and so enhancing that benefit for survivors would be really important.
Great. Thank you. Mr. Gray.
Yeah, I'll just share a brief statistic. Of female workers, 75% of them told us that they would be likely to enroll in an emergency savings account if incentives were offered. And I think this Congress can act to make it easier for employers to offer incentives like in a match, an emergency savings account. I think that would go a long way.
Thank you, and thank you for your indulgence, Madam Chair.